Okay, you saw the title, a comparison video. I like doing these videos. It's fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you. Hopefully it's entertaining. I get to use more of my B-roll, which is always nice. A nice change of pace without seeing my face for you guys. I'm sure some of you like that better. Doing these comparison video makes me think about my clothes more, which is always good. I buy so many new clothes to review for this channel, which often go forgotten after I've done a review on them. So today we are talking about the Kapital Boro Type 1 jacket and the Visvim Kerchief Kofu jacket. I've made individual reviews about them. Please go watch them. They're great. These two items, they are titans, grails of grail. Visvim is on the upper echelon. Kapital too, menswear fashion. These two are up there. Mastermind is at the bottom for reference. Look at the timestamp. Look at the category you want to hear about. Skip around. Watch what you like. The goal of this video is to help someone out there who is currently pulling their hair as to what piece they should get. Most people can only afford one. Hopefully by the end of the video or during, you go and press the checkout button on that jacket. I do want to say something before we start. It gets lost on me sometimes with the amazing items that I have, the beautiful life that I live. I recently started this practice of saying all the great things that are going on in my life to myself, because I think we all fall into the pit of always focusing on what we lack. This is mainly due to social media. We see what other people have. 2015 Makasy would come at the thought of owning one of these two amazing jackets. I need to put 2015 Makasy more at the forefront of my brain. Be more appreciative. Be more in the moment. Now that we got that soppy story out of the way, let's talk about the jackets. First category, collared, Visvim. Visvim wins. Visvim wins with an amazing margin. One, it has a snap button closure to keep it down. The collared on the Boro struggle immensely, as you can see by this footage. It's always peeking up every time I put it on. The kerchief has down in there, so it stays down already, and then you get the snap button closure, so it will stay down. To truly nitpick it even more, I like the sharp edges on the Visvim a bit more. Both are great though. I'm very happy with both of these collars. I'm simply being a dick right now and trying to elongate my thoughts and make this category a proper segment. So Visvim gets a point for me. I will give Kapital half a point for simply having spread collared. Pockets. Kerchief have two breast pockets. Boro has one. Both are relatively useless in 2024 because our phones have gotten so big. I only put my phone in it temporarily when I need my hands free to do something to accomplish a task. My wallet is also too big for them. On the right side of the kerchief jacket, I put all of the tags that Kelsey gave us. The left side, I put some cash in there in case of emergency. Boro comes with button closures. Visvim has snap buttons. Aesthetically, I prefer the Boro. Practically, I prefer the kerchief, easier on and off with the snap button closure. I also kind of dislike the gold on the kerchief. It's a bit too standout-ish for me, but then again, that makes the jacket feel a bit different, give that jacket a bit of a pop. I love the Kapital buttons. It's branded, embossed or debossed, so you can feel the letters. I also like the quality of the buttons. Both of these jackets have no pockets on the bottom, which is a problem for me. I always have this urge to put my hands in there because a lot of my jackets have two pockets down there. I'm gonna have to give this category to the Boro jacket though. The button, they really sold me. And now, a good transition to buttons. Visvim snap button closures. The newer model doesn't have any branding on there. The older model have Visvim FIL on all of their buttons. If you're not familiar, FIL stands for Forever in Love. This was a message from Hiroki to Kelsey. The snap buttons are very high quality, has a good sound when you snap it closed. It has scuff and scratches all over, which is the result of putting the buttons in a cage with all of Kelsey's cats, resulting in unique looking buttons. Again, this jacket uses fabric from the 50s and 60s, so the intention is to age the button to make it look and feel as though it's been used for decades. With the Boro, you get button closures. Each button is branded, which is debossed or embossed, so you can feel each letters. They're high quality metal. A lot of brands use plastic buttons. A few high quality brand uses button made of horns, and they're all stitched into the jacket like this. With the Kapital, the metal button are almost snapped into one another. Since there's no stitches, it's stable all throughout the lifespan. With stitches, they get more precarious as you put more wears into them, which I heavily dislike. I'm gonna have to give Boro this point though. High quality, thick, the emboss or deboss is a great touch. No stitches. A talking point for me. Kerchief is more, functional, blending in. If I were to introduce the Boro jacket to someone, I would say, hey, give me your hands, feel the amazing buttons. Can you feel the leather? Can you feel how heavy the metal is? Can you see how there's no stitches? Functionally, I would give the Visvim, of course, because it's easy to snap on and off, but altogether, Kapital gets a point here. We'll talk about the Boro and Kofu in a minute. For the sleeve, I simply want to talk about the fit, the cuffs, and a bit of aesthetic. Okay, so first, the cuffs. Visvim comes with 2 buttons. I like options. Kapital comes with 1 button. I never use them, but 2 is better than 1. Both are fairly hard to cuff up to the elbow. Kofu is hard because they're down and the fragility of the Kofu fabric. Boro is hard because of the interior lining and the fragility of the Boro fabrics. I mean, you can cuff them, but 1, it's hard, 2, it's fragile. I like the length of both. I'm a contradict myself a bit here. I think the Kerchief is a bit too long because it's a bit harder to function. The Boro covers my hand perfectly, show with my finger, which is ideal for me. With the Visvim, they cover all of my hands. Aesthetically, I prefer the Visvim, but functionally a bit too long, meaning it's a bit harder to use my phone. I think I said it already. This is a matter of preference, by the way. Both are great. Both are better than this Bodhi jacket. Do you see how it's way too short and how it doesn't look that good? I would give Visvim this segment by a small margin, the margin being the 2 buttons instead of 1. When it comes to high fashion, small detail matters a lot. Material. Visvim wins. You get vintage, genuine Kofu fabric from the 50 and 60. You get the superior Polish goose down, which is more expensive than most down. Rayon interior lining. With the Boro, it's a blend of cotton and linen. The special thing is the Shiko and the Boro techniques, but that's not material. Rayon interior lining as well. Personally, for me, I prefer the Kofu for the simple fact that it has Polish goose downs. We will debate genuine Kofu and replica Boro in a second. Let's call that a wash for this segment. So, it's a bit more subjective, but I prefer Visvim. Let me know what you think in the comment. With this category, very subjective, so let's provide you all of the facts. Let's start with the Boro. It's a replica of Boro fabrics. Kapital start off new. They distress it to look like it has existed for 100 plus years. Indigo dyed, handmade for the most part, has a history, has a heart, has a soul. Visvim, genuine vintage Kofu fabric from the 50 and 60, indigo dyed. Sourcing the fabric, has a soul, has a heart, has a great history. You can compare and contrast the difficulty in acquiring genuine vintage fabric to making a new fabric look old. Boro will take about 3 to 5 days to make. Kofu, I don't know how long, but I would imagine really long. Sourcing all of these Kofu fabric, expensive and time consuming. The Kofu jacket also has hand stitches throughout the garment. You can decide what you value more. Personally, for me, I like the idea of Hiroki and the team traveling throughout the prefectures of Japan trying to find these Kofu fabric, bringing it all together to the Visvim atelier, the team deciding the pattern. With the Boro jacket, it seems as though it's a bit more random. I'm sure there's some planning, but for the most part, the artisan gets a lot of freedom to do as they please. I value the vintage Kofu more, but also not taking the hard work that the team at Kapital put into the Boro. You can value a Kapital artisan sitting down and working on one jacket for 3 to 5 days straight. There's no losing. We're not comparing a great jacket to a pair of overhyped Nike sneakers. The values of Nike sneaker, they're artificial. They're set by artificial scarcity. Anyway, no wrong choice. It's a matter of preference. So both of these gets a point. Sizing. The Visvim jacket is a size 4 or an extra large. The Kapital is a size 5 or extra large. Both are Japanese brands, yet the size 4 fits better than the size 5. One has adjusted to the international market, one has not. I am by no means the skinniest of person, nor the biggest of person. Put a spectrum up. I'm somewhere here. Move it a bit further. Yeah, a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. That feels a bit more right. So there are a lot of people between me and obesity. What if they love the Boro jacket? They cannot buy it. I understand that Kapital is a Japanese brand and they want to cater to their country, to their market. I'm simply pointing this out because they could broaden their market so much by being more internationally friendly. If you don't want to adjust your sizing, just make a size 6. From a business standpoint, there's a market Kapital isn't tapping into. Visvim gets a point here. I'm going to deduct Kapital a point for this. Yes, it's a bit harsh, but they need a size 6 or make the sizing more internationally friendly. Both of these jacket looks amazing as a middle layer. Seeing a hint of Kofu fabric, it's great. Seeing a hint of Boro fabric, it's amazing. When it comes to using an exterior, meaning there's a sweater or hoodie underneath, I prefer the Visvim. They both look great on their own, but when you introduce a layer underneath, Kapital doesn't look too good. It's on the thinner and lighter side, so with a hoodie underneath, it's not as great as Visvim. So Visvim gets a point for me here. I made a whole video breaking down the history of the interior lining of Visvim. I spoke about the interior lining of the Boro jacket for I think 50 seconds. That should tell you everything. With the Visvim, you get this beautiful batter of greasy grass, you get the indigo dye, cochineal dye, mud dye, poop dye, Japanese poop by the way, so superior poop. With the Boro jacket, it's a print of a bunch of denim rags. Not bad, just not as good as Visvim. Kapital has this vest that has this print as the interior lining. I would love that print to be on this Boro jacket. Materials of both of these interior lining on the screen right now, they're fairly similar. Both are trying to mimic silk. Would love for both of these brands to look into silk too. I know it's going to cost a bit more, but $100 more isn't much when both items are already over 1.3K. Reversibility. Both of these jackets are not advertised as being reversible, but you can do it. As you can clearly see by the B-roll, Visvim, they look a lot better. Kapital missed this chance here by not including the racks of denim on the sleeve. I want this Visvim jacket reversible many times. I tried to wear the Boro jacket reversible once in the grocery store. I saw myself in the mirror, I reversed it back right away. The batter of greasy grass is amazing, and then obviously it's on the sleeve too. With regard to feel, the Kofu fabric feels great to the touch. The Boro fabric also feels great to the skin. There's no itch, no nothing. So 1 point here to Visvim. This category is a bit more objective than some other ones. With regard to quality, we don't have to speak about this segment. They both get a point. Both brands care so much about the quality of the product that they push out. Everything they made was made with love. Weather. You can wear the Boro jacket year-round. You can't wear the Visvim year-round. Boro is good for fall, spring, and summer. In the winter, if you want to, put a hoodie, put a knitwear underneath, you can use it. With the Visvim, you cannot wear this in the summer. The down is so great. The down is so warm. You would die from a heat stroke. In the fall, you can wear it on those cooler days, late September, October, early November. In the winter, you'll be fine on most days. However, those 10 degrees days, you're going to need to layer this as well. Boro gets a point here because it's more year-round friendly. The shape. So they're both rather pedestrian when it comes to shapes. Boro is modeled after the Levi Type 1 jacket, which has been reproduced by every fashion companies on earth. With the Visvim jacket, fairly normal standard jacket shape. I give Kapital has half a point though, purely because it's cropped and I like cropped jacket. There's nothing wrong with the Visvim. Again, both are rather normal. There's a reason why every brand has made a jacket in both of these shapes. Availability. Kapital and Visvim only make a few of these jackets every season, not because of some artificial scarcity unlike all of those brands. Kofu fabric from the 50s, 60s take a lot of time to source, clean up, stitch up, made into a jacket. Boro takes a lot of time to make the jacket look and feel as though it has existed for decades. I would say Kapital is easier in terms of availability. You can produce more, you just need more manpower. With Kofu, no matter the manpower, if you don't have enough fabric, you cannot make more than you have. And then in terms of availability through retailers and website, Visvim is a bit more well known than Kapital. However, Kapital, because you can make more and I've seen more for sale, so availability, I'm going to have to give it to Kapital. The Kofu jacket costs roughly 2.5K to 3K, somewhere around there, I forgot. The point is it's expensive. Kapital retail for roughly 130,000 yen if you're in Japan. However, when buying from a retailer outside of Japan, it will cost you 2K. With the aftermarket, I've seen some Kofu Kerchief sold for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, really depending on the pattern. But with Kapital, I've seen them sold for roughly 1.3 to 2K because there's not a lot of fluff about, patterns. So Kapital gets a point here for being cheaper, pretty clear cut, I would think, very objective. With regard to durability, I have owned this jacket for only a year-ish, I like to more time with them to truly speak on this. What I can say though, when I wear these products, I'm a bit more careful. I try not to wear it in the snow or rain because both fabric are so fragile. I'm not as reckless when it comes to storing them. I have some expensive ass Rick jackets that are currently on the floor in front of me right now, but I know those will last, so I treat them a bit more harshly. Both of these jackets comes with a warning like, hey man, don't be too rough on them. We already broke them down for the aesthetic. If you fuck it up even more, we're not gonna be liable for the damage. So no point added or deducted. I need more data. So anyway, here's the score. Now let's kick the score up because it really doesn't matter. The score does not matter. The only thing that matters is how you feel right now. You probably started off with liking both but not equally, hence why you're watching this video. I probably talked about something that triggered you to lean towards one item in particular. Could be the interior lining, could be the fit, could be anything. My hope is I talked about something that triggered you to lean towards one item. I wish you luck with your purchase. I hope you enjoy the jacket. I love both of these jackets unequally. Whichever you get, both are great. You will not make a bad choice. We're choosing between Kate Beckinsale and my wife. Both are equally beautiful. My name is Makasy. Go watch Serendipity. Great rom-com. Bye-bye.